the movie you're making me watch today is 1954's Godzilla. Gojira. Gojira. Original pronunciation.
Yes.
Was that mean it's originally spelled differently?
Yeah, Gojira. Gojira. Because it was like, came from... Gorilla was also, I think, Japanese word for gorilla. And then their whale was Kojira. So they combined the words gorilla and whale. And they had Gojira.
So is he part whale?
Well, because he's from the sea, you know. And then I think, I don't know, maybe the gorilla part's like a reference to King Kong or something. I don't fucking know. But it's clearly like...
Is he from the sea, or was that just where he was like hibernating?
That's a good question. Well, no, yeah, he was from the sea because they referenced that it was from the era that it was the Jurassic era, and then like it was partly a different era. I forgot what it was, but it was at the time where reptiles were evolving from sea to land. So it was like right in the middle of that. Like that was the area where he was from.
It is a terrestrial creature originally.
Yes.
Good.
Well, it was an amphibic.
Amphibic? I don't know. I don't think you can say that.
I'm probably using the wrong word. No, it's amphibian, not an amphibian, but
amphibious,
an amphibious
Maybe
reptile.
It was just
amphibious. I don't know. I'm not good at science words. But yeah, he's like it's it's like turtles and frogs and things like that. Like where they're reptiles, but they still live in the water.
What's your haiku?
And they can still live in the water. My haiku.
We'll define amphibians and reptiles later.
My haiku is: this is what happens. Oh no, there goes Tokyo. Godzilla can't die. I don't know if I like my haiku, but
it's all right. Mine's not much better.
That's what it is. What you got?
The atomic breath. Japan can't catch a break. Gojira will be back. I know the last one is 6. But
that sounds, yeah, I was going to say, like, that sounds too long.
It's what? One syllable too long. We'll be back.
Hey, that's...
Godzilla will back, or Godzilla will be, or Godzilla will... There was no getting around it.
You just got to write a new line, dude.
Yo, I can't find my adapter.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
I know. I don't know where it is.
You look good. Fresh shave. You losing weight. What's going on? You look great today.
You look really good, Schwartz.
I can't find my adapter though. I don't know
what are you trying to adapt?
I gotta plug this shit in. I don't have the fucking thing, dude. I just don't know where it is.
Uh-oh.
I've never moved it. Like there's no reason for it to not be here.
All right, Schwartz, give us your haiku.
I didn't do a haiku.
All right.
Just make one off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Godzilla eats a lot.
Google a haiku.
That's 6 syllables. That doesn't even fit either line, Schwartz.
Let's just keep going.
All right, Mr. No haiku, Mr. No microphone, Mr. No headset, raw dog.
I don't know where it's going on here.
Hey, yelling doesn't help.
I'm being sabotaged.
Dude all he's got is a joint and his happy face. What more can you ask for?
I know you came in, we gave you mad insults about how great you look today. And you're like, hey guys, I haven't done shit for the podcast, so sorry, I only watched half the movie. Go fuck yourself.
This whole movie, unfortunately.
Took you what, 3 attempts?
It took me a while.
Like 4 attempts.
You guys hated this movie?
It's hard to get into a movie made in 1954.
It takes a long time to say things. You got to read it, number one, so it's like a task already.
I don't mind that though. I don't consider
it's not. I don't mind it. It's fine, but it doesn't make it. It's just an added task. It's something I have to sit down and really pay attention to, as opposed to if this movie was in English, I probably wouldn't have to pay close attention to it. As long as I'm listening, and then during the loud parts, I'm watching.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's no way to watch a movie. You want to pay attention very intently watching any movie.
To most movies, yeah. This movie, I'm not sure I would have gotten much more out of it. Like I said, if it was in English and I was like 3/4 paying attention rather than in Japanese and full paying attention.
I had I turned it on like 3 times, and then like next to it was like Godzilla versus Kong, and I ended up watching that.
Oh, nice.
Like twice. That movie's
Dude,
dope.
I watched like 6 Godzilla movies, not just specific. I also watched Rodan, so that's part of the Godzilla universe. But I watched like 6 of Ishiro Ishiro Honda movies this week. It was
Which ones?
I loved Godzilla. I was surprised by how much I liked this movie. I watched Godzilla. I watched Mothra vs. Godzilla. I watched Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, which I highly recommend. That one was really good. Invasion of the Astro Attack. And Rodan. I think those were the ones I watched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So you didn't-
Attack of the Gargantuas. That
Did
was
you
not
watch any of
directly
like
Godzilla.
the immediate after Godzilla ones? Like apparently the ones made right after that are like revamped, had like American actors put in it, and was
Yeah, so the 56 version was like a re-edited American release that was Godzilla King of the Monsters, and that was like basically like an American dude that it was looked as if like an American journalist went there and it told the story from his perspective of him watching these attacks. So
That's
a lot of the stories of like the main Japanese characters were really cut down, and then like the trauma of like a lot of the people that were like after the attacks were like cut down, and it was more about him.
but it was literally the same movie. They just re-edited it.
It was the same movie, re-edited in different perspective. It
And
had
then
a
added
little bit of a different
white people.
ending. Yeah, and added white people. Yeah, had a different ending. Where it wasn't like the grim ending of this one was like, well, if we keep fucking around, this is gonna keep happening. It was like
Yeah, he gonna
Godzilla
be
was
back.
defeated and everyone was happy. The end. Like that's how the American version, of course, you know, is the Americanized shit. So had to
Yeah,
have
Well, I
a
mean,
happy ending.
at the core of
Leonard
it,
Maltin
movies-
was not stoked on the remake
Yeah, it's not really
or the
well.
re-edit.
I mean, at the core of it, these movies aren't about really a monster. It's about the effect of the bomb, right? And that's really what they're trying to talk about.
Definitely, it was like the leftover trauma of like the nuclear attacks back then, but it's also about like the view and its anti-war, of course. Like now
Exactly.
that
That's what I
and
mean.
It's leftover trauma in the literal sense, but also like what they're about to do to the monster is exactly what like the conversations that were going down before the bomb,
Right.
like the before the bomb.
yeah, like should we just keep going? Should we just keep attacking? And when it's like it's not working,
It's
not
gonna kill
working.
everything.
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's
gonna
not
kill
a good
everything.
idea. It was gonna electrocute everyone 1,500 feet from the beach.
Yeah, there's a big environmentalist message to these movies too, which I really appreciated, which I wasn't really aware that existed. Like just the aftermath of them killing all this wildlife, killing all these like other fish, killing just it's clear in the other movies too. It's pretty cool to see. But yeah, this movie specifically had a lot of messages too, which I liked.
It was surprisingly great. The movie was great. The things I liked. The cinematography was pretty crazy. I loved it. The puppetry and the use of like
Miniatures.
whatever
The
use
miniatures
of
were sick.
miniatures made me
Miniatures
want to
was
go
cool.
buy like sets, like model sets, and go put them together
Yeah.
and fucking shoot them because it was amazing. You can tell that they were miniatures, but
But it
the
looked
whole-
awesome.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
It looked awesome, and in '54, people were probably stoked on it, and I was
Yeah.
stoked on it. Like
Yeah.
even the underwater death scene, or the very last scene when they were killing him, and he like turned into the skeleton, like all that attack on the boat, and him coming out, all that worked, and it was way better than claymation. Like I thought, like if it was that, it would have been more comical, and I think they didn't want to be as comical as like King Kong.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they went. I don't know if that's why they went the way they went, or if it just was a consequence of not using kind of animation and instead using like real people in suits and like hand
Yeah,
puppets and like
Because
I
King
think, yeah.
Kong used
Yoda shit. It was Frank Oz shit.
King Kong used claymation, right, for the T-Rex battles and shit. Like that was all claymation, right?
Yeah, and I think
it was stop
he
motion.
himself was all like stop motion on the him like on the fucking.
They said they considered stop motion for this, but I guess they decided to opt for the miniatures and like the puppetry and it was a guy in a suit for a lot of
Yeah.
sines as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they went
It
with
was
that
like
route because
three
it was for
clearly
timing.
different monsters. There's like the suit
Yeah,
monster,
definitely,
like
yeah.
the hand puppet monster, and and like the maybe like the one that spit the atomic blonde out.
Right. Yeah, but for 1954, like I loved the practical effects. Like it just made it like fun to watch. It made it like the filmmaking aspects of those days, like you really appreciate it because it was just that's just what it was. That's all they really people had, and that's people just kind of accepted it and enjoyed it still for what it is.
Except, yeah, but also it was like the kind of the first time they're seeing something to that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the first time you see Matrix before it became like a satire type of thing. It's like, whoa,
Right.
that was wild.
Yeah, because in like the later films, sorry, I keep going there, but it's like that it does start
Go there,
getting like
baby.
a little silly. Like they're at its core, they still kind of tell the same or similar messages, but like it does get a little silly. Like it's monsters fighting monsters. It just gets
Well,
it's wacky, but it's a
how
good
many
time.
times can you tell the same story? You know what I mean? Once it
Right,
gets to
right.
be like that, you got to add. Well, it's like
Yeah.
happened to Fast and the Furious movies. They
Oh,
had to
I
make.
was just gonna say
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Like the later ones, like aliens are involved in shit. Like aliens are
Yeah.
trying to take over. They're like alien. They're like on another alien planet, and they're like, we need Godzilla to help save our alien planet. And it's like it's just crazy.
Well, have you seen like the newer ones, like Godzilla versus Kong and
I haven't
Godzilla?
actually.
I
I kind of
mean,
want to now.
it's eye candy in the way that Transformers is eye candy, but it's dope. It's fun. Like
Yeah.
I mean Peter
Like Fast
Jackson.
and the Furious.
Peter Jackson's King Kong was really fun too. I mean, for what it was.
I saw
mean,
that. I saw Skull Island. I think was the last one, but I haven't seen any of the new Godzillas other than like the
now
Godzilla
there's one
2000
Godzilla
or
versus
something.
Kong.
Yeah, there's like
Taiwan.
3 new ones, and there's one I guess that's called Godzilla King of the Monsters, even though that's
Yeah.
56 version of title. But then that one apparently is essentially it sounds like Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster, which is Ghidorah is like this alien gold dragon, and he fights
AGD.
Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan, and that movie's dope. So I'm thinking that movie must be like similar because all 4 of those monsters, even though they're like the main ones, are all in King of Monsters, the newer 2019
Yep.
version or something. So I might watch that soon.
Yo,
The first
Kong Skull
Godzilla-
Island, off the chain.
Yeah,
Not bad.
great
Yeah,
movie.
not bad.
Off the
Yeah,
chain.
the-
That's when they're going in the helicopters and Kong just starts fucking shit up.
The cinematography is ridiculous.
Amazing.
It's a fun
Is The
movie.
Rock?
The first Godzilla movie I ever saw was Roland Emmerich's 1998 Godzilla with Matthew Broderick. Like that
Yeah.
was the first one I ever saw.
Was that called Godzilla 2000, or am I just making up that?
No, that was
2000
called.
in my head?
It's called Godzilla. That
It
was
was
just
called Godzilla. Okay.
Was
But
it
it opens up with
2000?
the same scene and everything on the boat in the middle of the ocean. But yeah, that was a Hank Azaria, Matthew Broderick.
I remember Matthew
Marino.
Broderick.
That
I don't
was
really
pretty-
remember that movie, but I definitely saw it back then. I
mean,
would have been like
Do you like
13 when it
Independence
came
Day?
out. Right.
Do you like
right,
fucking? Do you like Stargate? Do you like Day After Tomorrow? Because same director.
Yeah, Roland Emmerich just had mad
Nope.
success in
I
the
don't like any
90s.
of those.
You don't like
And,
Independence Day?
Never. Nope.
Dude, Stargate might be his best film. That was a great movie.
Never seen it.
Really great movie. Great.
I've
His
seen
first
Stargate
movie.
SG-1.
Yeah, based off of the movie.
I think it was the other way around.
Nope, definitely not.
Agree to disagree.
Definitely not.
All right, back to Gojira.
Yes.
So
Tell
did
us
you start
about it,
talking
Jake.
about the plot yet?
No, we didn't really get into the plot. We just talked about the origins of the name and everything like that.
We actually were talking about reptiles versus amphibians. Do you have
that as well.
Do you have an opinion on either of those?
You have an opinion on reptiles versus amphibians. You know what? I don't think I've ever really thought about that before. I mean, reptiles are cool. I mean, who doesn't like reptiles? They're interesting. They're slimy and they're gross, but they're fucking cool. They're little dinosaurs. Amphibians? What is classified as an amphibian exactly? I don't even know.
They're just gilled.
Amphibians.
gilled. They
can
live in
breathe
water.
Okay, so you know what's one of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen? Are those giant Komodo dragons that just tear shit apart. Those things are absolutely terrifying.
Oh
So,
yeah, they're
let's
like
talk about those. Those
modern
things are
day dinosaurs, dude. Like
Yeah.
those and like crocodiles and like that whole crocodilia family is like they're living fucking dinosaurs, dude.
They're those things are terrifying.
Yeah.
You ever
Yeah, I
see-
wouldn't go into one of those islands where Komodo dragons are just running around would be fucking
Ha-
terrifying.
Have you ever seen a video where they're literally just like tearing apart like a fucking
Yeah.
deer or something like that?
Yeah.
It's
Ah,
crazy.
because they have
Wow.
like shit in their mouth that makes the deer decompose, and they just go
Yeah.
rip it apart.
They're like one part of them. One of them's eating the front. One of them's eating out the asshole. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Always got to eat the asshole,
Yeah, I forgot they're like
I
toxic
guess
too,
that's the
aren't they?
yummiest part.
isn't it?
I mean, as far as the Komodo dragon said.
I think we know.
Isn't it?
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So we decided that this was more of a reptile than an amphibian.
Basically, it's a giant Komodo dragon if you think about it.
It's a giant T-Rex.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Fire-breathing T-Rex.
T-Rex. A T-Rex. This is like
it's a little bit of a dragon.
Like a lizard T-Rex.
Yeah. There would be no
It's
T-Rex
upright.
without this guy.
There would be no Jurassic Park
they
without
used
this guy.
a lot. I mean, I don't mean that historically. I meant what Jake said.
Like, wait, what are you talking about?
I meant what Jake said. Yeah, no, the T-Rex would never existed if it wasn't for Godzilla. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying there would have never been Jurassic Park in that way with that for sure. And they were doing the Jurassic Park techniques before Jurassic Park. I mean, obviously
for sure.
Park, but I mean, you think how clever Jurassic Park to mix special effects with like practical effects, and they done did it. They done did it in 55.
Well, Jurassic Park was the first time that the special visual effects could compete with the other shit. That's
well, computer graphics,
exactly.
But like,
where it actually looked real.
I'm just talking like special effects in general.
I mean, think about how much better those close-ups are in Jurassic Park because it's an actual physical thing. Like that makes the world a difference.
They were not ready for close-ups at that time. They were not really ready for it now. Even
now it doesn't look as cool. Now you can tell like that looks fucking real because it's there. You can touch it.
I would touch it.
Oh, yeah.
I would touch Godzilla.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, you guys should check out Destroy All Monsters. That's another one I forgot to mention that I watched. That was basically like all these different monsters live together on an island and aliens attack. So it's pretty great.
What year is that?
I think that's 69.
Nice.
Actually.
What kind of aliens?
They're basically, I'm surprised by this. It's strange, but in all of Honda's movies, all the aliens look like Asian people. Seems strange, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's just what,
because he's in Asia and that's where everybody's coming from.
I know. Yeah.
So they're just Asian people.
They're kind of
Asian people coming out of spaceships.
The later Godzillas, they feel a lot like Star Trek episodes. Did you guys ever watch like the original series Star Trek?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the Next Generation one.
They have the Star Trek vibe because they're like starting to bring in like these like weird alien type settings and space type settings and things like that, and just like the practical effects are still there. So I don't know. I watched a little bit of Star Trek original series and it just reminded me of that a lot. If that helps.
Shout out to Justin, mad Star Trek fan.
Yeah. He's pretty much the reason why I watched those. So,
dude, how about Barry last night, dude?
Whoa, hey, haven't seen it. Haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, let's not get off topic.
Zip it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Dude.
Talk about that later.
I don't want to hear it.
Next
I'll
time.
watch it while we're doing this podcast right now.
Anyway, all right. So, all right.
Tell us about it. Are we done? I mean, we kind of went over it.
Yeah.
It's an allegory to
Let's talk
atomic
about
war.
yes. Let's talk about the movie itself. It starts off. You see some people at the ocean. Yeah, you hear the noise like boom, boom. Just sounds like, is it bombs going off? Is it some giant thing taking a step? We don't know.
If only we had a small cup and a Jeep.
So yeah, the movie starts with like a bunch of random ships getting destroyed. People are finding out like ships are getting destroyed out in the ocean. They don't really know why. Then it kind of goes into like all these fish are being like the fishermen. They're not getting their fish anymore. They're not catching their fish. People,
some shit's going down, dude, in the ocean.
Clearly, shit's going down in the ocean.
And this is post atomic war or post atomic bomb drops on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Is this where the first time you see the light too under the water?
Yeah, the first thing you see is like there's like a light that's like a flash.
What the fuck that is? What is this light? Is that like...
I don't think that's light. I think that's just like bubbles coming up and it just looks, because it's the editing, it just looks like, it almost looks like a light to you. But there was a Flash. There was once a Flash, and that I'm not sure what that was. I think that was just
I don't remember a
Well,
lot.
Godzilla.
I went to the Guillermo del Toro movie Pacific Rim. What that was like? Did they come out? Like, did the ocean floor open up and he come out of it? Because that's what that was about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a
Okay. Yeah.
dimension that opened up in the middle of the ocean, and then
Isn't that
and
what
I
happened?
think we
Not a
didn't talk about.
dimension, but
But
he
he
was
lived in the
awoken.
crevasses. Yeah.
He was awakened.
That's another thing we didn't talk about either, which is crazy. Like this movie created a whole like thing of movies like you're talking about, but it also created what they call kaiju, which are like it's Japanese word for like some sort of monster. And like there was a bunch like all those offshoots of movies were like based off of that. And Guillermo del Toro like made that movie Pacific Rim about it, and there's like comic books about it and all kinds of shit about that, like kaiju monsters. It's like a whole thing.
That.
It's like
Okay.
a whole. You never seen Pacific
Oh yeah,
Rim?
I haven't.
Okay. That's a great movie.
But yeah, do you know Godzilla is like the longest running movie franchise of all
I
time?
did. I
Like
heard that
most
in a video I watched.
consistently running. Like it's been ongoing. Really, they're still making shit to the day. It never really stopped.
I think the only other one is like
Before.
Bond. That's like close.
Yeah, probably.
Kaiju,
But not. Yeah. Not as
kaiju
long.
comes from
Godzilla, right?
well, the Godzilla definitely started it was the first movie about kaiju, but kaiju comes from ancient creatures or creatures from ancient Japanese legends.
So Godzilla is a kaiju though.
Yes, yeah. And that was the first movie
On film. So that's
depicting
that's
a
what I
kaiju.
meant.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that started the depiction of kaiju in movies was
Yeah, I just
Godzilla.
wanted to see because I felt like I remember kaiju being like an ancient thing.
Yeah.
And isn't that what they called in Pacific Rim? That's what they call the monsters.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
You're a fucking kaiju. You never seen Pacific Rim, Jake?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
neither have I.
Oh man, it's fun. You should because you like this movie so much. You should watch it. It's just
I know,
giant
dude.
monsters
It's
fighting
suddenly
giant robots. That's what the
suddenly
movie
got
is.
me into these fucking monster movies.
It's about a fucking dimension that opens up in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and these monsters come out, and America and the world has to build something to fight them. So they build giant transformer like robots that people inhabit, and it attaches to your brain, and then they fight back. It's fucking awesome. It's like the best thing
It's
ever.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And it's Guillermo del Toro.
I'll
And Charlie
yeah.
Day's in it, dude.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of the kaijus.
So it's pretty recent.
Yeah. So is
I
Ron
just-
Perlman.
I just saw Charlie Day's new movie. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, he got it. I had a rating. I was looking on. I was hoping it looked good, but
It was
looks
pretty bad.
great. But
It was funny. It had its moments, but it was overall
yeah,
pretty poor movie.
word. All right, back to Gojira.
Right. Yes. He's fucking with shit. He's destroying stuff in the ocean. We don't know what he is yet. We don't know what's going on yet.
We don't know
There's
what's
something
going
happening
on.
in the ocean.
Ships are
That's
sinking.
all we know.
Fish are dying. People are dying.
Yeah. And yes, and then there's even an old man that's like, it's Godzilla. We know,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
some old man already knows about it. Like, it's kind of seems like a trope in a
Myth.
movie. Yeah, he knows about the myth. He tells about the myth. He warns about the myth.
Are there such things as
And-
tropes in the 50s?
I
Like
don't know, maybe
movie tropes?
It's like maybe that's like the start. I was like the OG trope of the old wise man knowing what's gonna happen before it happens.
Well, maybe because kaiju was a thing that's what he's basically saying. Like he's
Yeah, I could see that.
Godzilla, and that's what they just replaced kaiju with Godzilla.
Yeah, because they're like, this isn't back then. That doesn't happen now. You're crazy, old man. And then I don't know if it's later that
he
night or
says
later on, but
kaiju?
that
He says that's what it is?
No, he doesn't say.
he doesn't say kaiju. He says Godzilla. He
Godzilla.
calls
Says
it by
Godzilla.
name.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that later on, I don't know if it's that night or whatever, or that fishing village gets attacked.
Yeah.
People think it's like a typhoon, but villagers like see something in the night. They see some big creature that they know like something's out there. And that's when
Hold on,
a bunch of
that was definitely a cool way to do it too. Instead of showing them right off the bat, which I expected going in, they do it in like a really fun, like mysterious way of not knowing what's up, which I thought was cool. I thought that was fun.
It was very
because I was with you. I was expecting to see him like early
Right
on.
away. Like that opening scene in the water, I thought we were gonna see him because I think in the roller version, which he opens up with that scene, you see it in that scene. I think. I can't remember though.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
Yeah, they definitely hold on. It's very they build the suspense before you see it, and probably due to they were trying to make it look scary. They were trying to like hold
yeah,
the Jaws kind of effect of, it doesn't
sure.
look great, so let's kind of keep in the distance and use it when we can effectively. And I
I
think
wasn't a big fan of the way they introduced the monster first when you just see its head over the hill, because to me, the head is the kind of the part that looks the most like childish and playful, and that kind of ruined it for me.
yeah, but I
It looks
mean,
very like
imagine the
haphazard.
scale.
It is semi comical when you do see it at first. I'm not gonna. I feel like the
Yeah,
eyes. It's like cross-eyed a
yeah,
little
it's
bit.
like
It looks a
it's
little.
yeah.
I'm
But just imagine how big that thing must be to be peeking over the mountain like that.
right.
I
Yeah, the
get
the
it.
size of it would fucking scare anyone. But like it's like seeing miniatures. It's like you kind of like see it, and it's a little funny because you know what it is. But I know what you're saying.
I mean, there's ways of getting around that. I feel like you could have shot just like the feet stamping on the ground, or like the tail swinging, or like
That's
something
what
else.
we
But the
mostly
head,
see
Yeah,
throughout the whole
the
thing.
head is
true.
literally the goofiest part of it. It looks funny. Like
It
it
is.
looks
Yeah.
like a head you would draw for a children's movie.
You guys are rude.
My
No,
it,
I'm not, because if you look
The
at
whole thing, the
the
whole
new
time,
incarnations of Godzilla, they're terrifying looking. They look scary.
the
yeah, it looked
whole
like
time
human
I was
dinosaurs.
watching this, I was thinking, man, this is like something I could have pulled off when I was a kid. So it makes sense
Right.
that it looks like a kid's.
Sure.
Yeah, it makes the movie making process look fun
I
because it's
mean,
like
they
just people
definitely
playing
had
with
fun
toys and
making this
shit.
movie.
They're playing with toys and hand
Yeah,
puppets and fucking costumes. Like this is the funnest way to make movies. They must have been having a blast.
other than the guy in the costume, I heard that was grueling from
Well,
all
Yeah.
I
accounts.
was looking. They said they like covered the costume in cement and shit because they didn't have like materials post World War II. They just didn't have like
Right.
rubber or anything like that. So they were
Okay.
filling gaps with quick dry cement. So yeah, that thing must have been heavy.
Yeah, I forgot what I wait. It was like over 100 pounds, and like the dude said, like I guess it reached like insane temperatures, and he would like only be able to do it for like a few minutes at a time. That just sounded rough. I heard
Yeah,
some
rough.
stories online. But yeah, where are we at? Yeah, they attacked the village. We haven't seen the creature yet, but that's when people start coming in, like scientists, and like they have like a little, what is it, like a town meeting, or like what a public conference type thing. People kind of give their accounts. Some of the people in the village are like, I saw. That's when they said I saw something big in the sky. It wasn't a typhoon. It wasn't this. Wasn't that. Other people giving theories, and then there's a scientist that comes in. He's one of the main characters, iconic actor. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but this guy starts talking about how there's crevices underwater. We don't know, like there could be creatures down there, things like that. And then he goes to investigate the town, and there's giant, because I think that there's big giant footprints. That's kind of what gives him the idea that there's
Oh
maybe
yeah,
there's
that was
some
a cool
creature,
shot
and he
when
goes to
they go up to
investigate.
the mountain and they
Yeah,
look down on the ocean. They because that's when they first see him too. I think that's when they first
yeah.
see him, isn't it?
That's right after they first see him. Is
Yeah,
like
they
hit the
see the
trail
top of
back
his
into the
head,
ocean.
and then
Because
yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
look
walk
over
back
the mountain that he left, and they see the
and they
footprints.
see giant
yeah,
footprints on the ground. I thought that was cool. Again,
yeah.
I put myself in their shoes, and I was like, that
Right.
must have been crazy.
Be wild. Yeah, wild.
Today,
So yeah, that's
2023,
when
I would have been like,
this
that looks stupid as fuck.
right, of course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this is a great movie for when it was made. So they go to investigate the village. The scientists all go there. The main dude, he goes. He like finds what tips him off is up to the whole Jurassic time and all this. Like he finds a trilobite in the in one of the footprints, one of the giant footprints that are like found in the city that's destroyed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's an extinct species that was from like the Jurassic era. And then that's when they're investigating that
So they're
shit. That's
saying
when
that
that's when they see him come over the mountain.
he that's where it came from. Do they that's why he thinks it came from the bottom of the ocean because that's where they're found. Is that what he's saying? The trilobite.
No, I think he already thought there was maybe something coming out from the ocean, that like something attacked them. He was sort of like supporting that theory, and I think he went to investigate, and then that more so supported his theory.
But up to
And
this
then
point, we don't see the monster, right? It's just
no,
kind
up
of
to this
like
point we do not. We
it's
just see
attacking. We
footprints.
see like the attacks that he has, the effects that the monster has, but we don't see
Yes.
the monster. The monster is like when he's attacking, it's like he changes the weather. Like it's a terrifying experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool because early attacks before you see him, you're just like, what the fuck is that? And it's like a typhoon coming in.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I
And
guess what that is kind of cool actually. Like, he's just so big and takes up so much space and shit that just changes the atmosphere and shit. That's pretty wild.
was
And
also
his-
radioactive.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
atomic breath probably fucks with things too.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah. The
So he just
atomic-
shoots atomic
Yeah.
heat. Is it heat that he's shooting, or is it like radiation?
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's radiation or is it just fire? Because that's when like just shit just like bursts into flames.
But
Maybe it is
isn't
radiation.
It's called
Seems like
atomic breath, isn't it?
So yeah, it's probably
So
radiation.
it's just like fiery. He's just like
just blowing
he's
radiation.
got like a atomic
Radiation.
bomb because this is he's awakened by
Awakened.
the atomic bombs that were testing in the ocean. They were testing in the oceans, right? That's how he
Yeah,
that's what
and
the
and I
theory
think
is.
that was part of the theory of like the original meeting. He was like, we don't know what we could have like released when we were doing the testing or the atomic bomb testing.
Mhm.
So I think that was part of his theory. And then once they're there
And
investigating,
not only was
then
it
they see 'em.
awakened, but it was then modified, like
Yeah,
genetically modified to
I
be
think
atomic.
so. That's what made it. Yeah, that's how to make
Nuclear?
it radiation or radioactive. It's nuclear now. It's
Yeah, I'm
Godzilla.
thinking that the radiation found its way and actually like is what awakened it. That's the point.
Yeah, and then he somehow became radioactive.
Yeah.
But like crazy reptiles are very resilient, and he just did not die.
All right.
They was just in hibernation.
So he's back. They see him over the hill. They see his fingerprints, the fingernails go into the ocean. Then what?
Yes.
Then there's like a love
Fingernails.
story. Ugh.
Yeah, there's that love story. It's not super interesting. So it's like one of the ship guys and the daughter of the main scientist. I should pull up some names here. I know Miko is the girl's name, and Ogata is the ship guy. And they're dating, and he's the one kind of like he's just because he like works the docks. He's the one like sort of dealing with like the aftermaths of the effects of like the fishing boats and all that shit getting affected. And the doctor is Yamane, Dr. Yamane, that played by Takashi Shimura, who's in all sorts of cool movies.
6'9".
And then there
Heard
is
that guy was a rat.
the other scientist is Dr. Shirazawa. And Shirazawa and Amiko are actually at that point engaged because they're arranged to be married. It's like it's marriage arrangement. So I don't.
Is this-
apparently, that was part of the
I
culture
didn't
back
give
then.
a fuck about any of this. I just
Is this
want to
the
see.
guy
I know
with the eye
this
patch?
wasn't as great. Yeah, the eye patch guy was Shirazawa, who he almost seemed villainous at first. He almost seemed like the mad scientist, but he actually was like the hero of the movie in a way.
He was the one that's willing to do anything to take care of business.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
Wait,
if that
no.
means.
Ogata was the ship guy. He was the one who was like more like ruthless. He's like, we gotta do shit. The eye patch guy was like, I gotta.
Who's the one
protect the
isn't he the
weapons.
one that invented like the anti-oxygen stuff?
Yeah, he did. But he invented weapons, but he was also like, we can't use this. People can't use this. I gotta destroy. He like basically destroyed his evidence or destroyed his research because he didn't want it to get in the wrong hands, and he killed himself at the end of the movie because he's like, I know I'm the only one who knows how to make this thing. I can't let this be made. It was just part of the commentary about the like anti-war, like weapons race and things like that. Because the more people know, the more they're going to want the secrets. The more it'll get out, the more destruction it could potentially cause.
Blah blah blah. Cut to
But that's what this
45
movie's
minutes in the
about, man.
movie with the first big attack on Tokyo.
That scene was great. The use of miniatures in that scene and like we were talking about was
Amazing.
I mean, I guarantee you that like George Lucas saw that and was like, I got to do that.
Oh yeah, there's probably scenes of that in his original cut of Star Wars that he showed everybody that everybody laughed at.
Yeah.
They're like, you suck, George Lucas. You know what I'm talking about.
Y'all know what I'm saying?
The story that I think you're talking about is when Brian De Palma was like, "The fuck is this? It makes no sense." And like, I guess he was the reason why there's a crawl in the beginning. He's like, "You got to set it up. You got to give context to who these people are and the type of universe they live in, and otherwise it doesn't work." And this is before like any kind of special effects were into. And the funny part is, I guess like Spielberg was the only one who was like, "Nah, man, I think it's cool." And that's why like they started making shit together.
Yeah, and it had like random cuts of World War II fighter planes and shit in it.
Yeah, I think what De Palma's problem was though is that like the context of like Han Solo and like and Princess Leia, like he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I don't know. So
Good
this is
story. He didn't
what's
see the
cool
big
is that
picture.
is how good that ended up being like as a movie after like what they did. Like that's like I always say is what George Lucas will be remembered for. It's not necessarily that he made Star Wars, that he revolutionized the industry with special effects and what you could do with making movies. That's why he's one of the goats.
De Palma just couldn't see big picture, dude.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Actually, what's a cool story about that is when De Palma screened Lucas Mission Impossible 1, the scene in the beginning wasn't there where it set up who the team was. Like that scene where John Voight's like, "All right, you doing this and you're doing that and you're doing this." And Drew's like, "This makes no fucking sense." And then he went back and and De Palma shot that. So it's just cool that they get to do that shit. It is a true story. Just anyway, no one cares. No one cares.
I
Anyway,
don't care.
Godzilla starts attacking the power lines, the train, the cars, the people. It's good.
I think it's important to know this is after they try to fucking kill him, because they know
how they try to kill him first?
They know that he's in the ocean, so they bomb the ocean a bunch of times.
You're defending Godzilla attacking. That's great.
Dude, Godzilla's not the villain here. I want that to be made.
I mean, we got that
clear.
in the beginning when it says he was made by nuclear testing. We get it. We get it.
Yeah. I'm putting call me crazy, hot take. I'm putting Godzilla as the villain here.
Then you misunderstood this whole fucking movie.
I don't think I did.
You misunderstood this whole thing,
dude.
We're the villains.
It's the man.
The humans are the villains,
dude.
The government.
Beings.
Yeah,
it don't matter, dude.
The government.
It doesn't matter if it's man versus something else. I'm team man all the way, no matter what.
No matter what man did.
You're more of an Ogata guy.
I am man. Okay. So if it's man against, I'm gonna be like this. Hey, I'm sorry, man did this, but you ain't gonna fucking kill us all because of it. You know.
So
I'm with you.
Make it simple. Team Okada or Team Serizawa? Who are you?
You got to be more specific.
I'm going Godzilla all the way.
You're going Team Godzilla?
Yeah.
Serizawa was the doctor that was like, I got to destroy all my shit because I created this weapon. I don't want people to use it.
Yeah.
And he was the one who went down.
Sure.
Ogata was the one who was like,
that's a good way to want to do.
Because he didn't want to take down Godzilla, but I think he was more or less.
He was just fucking vegan, to be honest.
Listen, it's like, and this is just all allegorical to the bomb, right? He is Oppenheimer. He had created death, the destroyer of worlds. He doesn't want to. He wants to undo what he did.
You see,
but he can't. You can't do it. You can't undo what you did. Unfortunately, it sucks. I wish we could, but you can't. And since we can't, I'm gonna be Team Man. If we do whatever we got to do.
Jake and the other Team Godzilla people start smashing buildings by themselves to help out Godzilla.
That would be like.
Go ahead. You can help out Godzilla all you want. You're going to lose. And if you're Team Man on Godzilla, you're definitely going to lose. Godzilla may not be able to die, but Team Man that helped Godzilla going to die.
All right. What about best monster movies? Go.
We're going to. We'll do that draft. We'll do that draft afterward. Let's stay focused on the Godzilla plot right now.
Off the top. I'm not even going to Google this one.
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
All right, we're going to go God damn it. Made me lost track. All right. So what?
We're at the point to where Godzilla's fucking shit up.
He's fucking
Yeah.
shit up. This is what he's
But
fucking
it's
shit up.
but
And
it's
they're like,
because we attacked him. We just
get
we
that.
we
That
attack
doesn't mean
him.
he's not
yeah, but
fucking
why
shit
did
up.
we attack him? Because he
We're trying to
attacked
protect.
us.
We're trying to protect ourselves. This
No,
is the
no,
danger. This is
he
the problem with
he
war.
was
This is the
sinking
problem with
ships
violence.
and murking babies and eating the troops. We had to do something. We started bombing the ocean in retaliation for that. We're just seeing what's going on. Something's going on here. Let's bombing a little bit.
Fish. He was just eating some cattle and fish. It was
Cattle and fish. He was taking down battleships.
Not until we bombed the ocean.
That's how the movie starts. He's taking down merchant ships. People
That
We
was the
started it. They started it.
We started what? They started.
We as in humans.
You just
we
know
started it.
You're a man.
I know.
You're not a Zilla.
I'm defending Godzilla.
You're not a
I'm just defending Godzilla. So he's in retaliation. He basically attacks Japan, and then we see a lot of dark imagery of the people affected by it. A lot of kids are burnt and
Pearl Harbor
injured. A lot
was
of
a
people are
retaliation.
dying.
You ever heard of Pearl Harbor?
What happened?
Was it a retaliation?
I mean, yeah, for like trade route stuff and I don't know. Look up history.
Yeah. I just know that's what caused us to join the war. But
sure, but
that's a
why
whole
did they
other
do that?
conversation.
Is the
I
question.
I don't remember why they actually.
That's
did
right. That's right. All
I don't
we
know
know
why-
is we were
Why did
attacked.
why did they 9/11? I don't
Why
know.
did they 9/11? I think that was some retaliation shit too, and to like
Probably.
get rid of some certain documents in a certain building 7, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's also true.
And
Uh,
the Pentagon.
Well,
the Pentagon.
Pearl,
I
Har-
think it
Pearl
was
Harbor
just-
was just the 40s version of 9/11, dude. So it's still, whatever.
I mean, we could dive deep into what we're just said right now, and it'd be pretty interesting if we can. If you want to, I'll give my opinion.
I got a
You
whole
got
bunch
opinions?
of I got a whole bunch of
I got a lot of
uneducated
opinions.
conspiracy
What's your
theories.
vegan ass opinion on the Twin Towers, Jake?
I'm at this point, I don't know enough, and I'd be talking out of my
What do you
ass.
mean you
of,
don't
like,
know
any-
enough. We're
of
fucking
any theory.
geniuses.
I
You
don't know,
haven't
it's
watched
the
docs and
details. It's
read
the
things
details.
about 9/11 for the last
Oh,
20
for
fucking
sure.
years?
But I haven't any time recently, and
And
I
also,
all the facts in my
Is
head are
watching a
built up.
doc research, or is it
Exactly.
just watching a doc?
It's just talked. It's just talk. They're not what they're saying isn't necessarily facts. They're
A
just
good
presented as
doc
facts.
can convince me of anything.
Sure. I saw Loose change that 9/11 doc, and I was definitely for sure that was an inside job based off of the things that they said in that documentary. But were the things they said in that documentary true? I don't fucking know.
I saw
I do
Soaked
know-
in Bleach, and I'm 100% certain that Courtney killed Kobe or whatever his name is.
I do know that Building 7 is a thing, so that's true though. So Building 7.
Let's talk about Building 7.
saying.
Let's just go to Building
that's
7.
I don't know. I just know that it wasn't a building that got hit, and
Was it
had a
taken
bunch
down on purpose?
It was.
Was it planned? Was it planned to take down from the get go?
Based off of what I've heard in these random docs, is like it was a very suspicious way that building fell. It like kind of just
Schwartz,
did it
Tower 7,
explode.
go.
It was like a building adjacent to the Twin Towers that also collapsed, but doesn't. From what I know, it doesn't really make sense.
What do you think
And that
about
was all-
Tower?
that was all the crazy docs.
Schwartz, 7, hit
I
me.
don't know, man. I don't know about particularly 7, but I definitely.
Oh,
think,
you haven't been watching docs for the last 20 years?
I definitely think that 9/11 was the excuse to go to invade Iraq. I definitely believe that.
Well, duh.
Right.
Well,
that's right.
the only definitive thing that I take from it, though, in my opinion. So, do I think
Yeah.
does that make it an inside job? Probably.
I think it was more of a let's just let this one slide kind of thing. Like, and then based off of that convenience, the next day building it was the next
Pentagon,
day building
go.
7 went down, or was it like way
Was the
late?
Pentagon hit by a plane or a missile?
That shit's fucking weird too. That shit's
Plane or a
super
missile?
weird.
Just answer that. Plane or a missile?
It feels
The
missile-y.
photos I've seen doesn't look like a plane in it. I'll tell you that much.
Plane
Yeah,
or a
because there's
missile?
no plane.
If you
It
had to
doesn't seem
choose
like there was a plane.
or missile right now.
How
Plane or
about-
missile?
How about
Missile.
How about
Nothing
a
in
prop
between.
plane that fits 2 people? How about that? I'll choose that.
A crop plane?
A prop plane, like
A prop
one that-
plane? A prop
fits
plane
2
wouldn't have done
people?
that damage.
Yeah, that damage was huge, and they also found
I
going
consider
missile.
that.
what
Sure.
happened to that. What happened to that plane?
I go Pentagon was hit by a missile.
Yeah. And also pretty convenient that Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane were supposed to be on planes and they magically just didn't get on the plane. There's some Illuminati shit. Like, we need
Wait,
our American treasures, Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane.
They were both supposed to be on planes?
They were both to be on those each. I don't know if it was the same flight, but I know that they were supposed to. They would have been 9/11.
Damn.
They
would have been
called
Pete
their flights
Davidson's
that
dad.
day. Yeah. I think like Mark Wahlberg was like hungover, so they probably drugged him. And Seth MacFarlane was like running
Are you
late or
saying Mark
something.
Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane are responsible for 9/11?
No, I'm saying they were saved on purpose
By the
because
naughty?
they knew. Yeah, the naughty knew.
All right, what about the plane that went down in Pennsylvania?
That's another mystery. Yeah, then they find like no bodies. Like, I don't know how these like planes just like disintegrate. That doesn't
They
make
didn't
any
find
sense.
bodies?
They didn't find bodies. They didn't really find the plane, I think, right?
Oh no, the plane they found for sure. It looked like the movie Flight.
Oh, okay. Maybe something.
I
Maybe
think they
I'm
found
getting
that one. I think they found.
okay.
Wait, or what? Did they not?
I don't know if they did. Now I'm
Was
now
that
I'm
one just
confused.
made up to be like to make the because that one was like, we're American, let's be America, take this baby and roll it over, and they fucking rolled it and killed her
Maybe.
and
then it just
took it down
disappeared.
instead of killing the White House.
Because was there another plane that sort of had the similar
United
Pentagon
93 was that one you're talking about. They made a movie
Pentagon
about that.
stories?
Yeah, they made a
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
with Mark Wahlberg.
That was
Mm,
another
mm.
movie, but this movie was about the plane that went down in 1993 that ends
Jack
with
Nicholson,
Because I feel like they got that flight box out of that plane.
Nicolas Cage.
Maybe I don't fucking remember the story
Nicolas
there.
Cage is in a 9/11 movie.
Yes, he's in Oliver Stone's movie. He plays a fireman that enters the towers and gets stuck in the rubble.
Here's what I think. I think Tower 7. I think Tower 7 had a lot of good stuff in it that nobody needed to see. I think there was like a lot of docs in there that a lot of people wouldn't have mind if it burnt down. And once the towers got hit, however they got hit for whatever reason, not up to the Tower 7 was just like, we're pretty close to that place, right? Maybe our tower suffered a little damage. And
Definitely
then
good distraction.
and then they just went kaplow, and they're like, yeah, ours
If
fell too. What a wild world.
If 9/11 happened to happen, they really didn't know. And then they were just like, oh shit, look at this opportunity, get a bunch of shit.
That's how it works. I think that's how most things in politics
so.
works. I honestly,
Yeah.
and to what you're saying, they're like, hey, this is kind of this. America's not really going to know the difference between fucking Iraq and Afghanistan. Let's just go to Iraq. Like 100% they did that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think regardless of how or why 9/11 happened, it was just like most things that it's got taken advantage of by quick thinking individuals.
That would be hilarious. What would be hilarious is if that really, really famous photo of Bush when he like gets told what happens is when he goes, yo, we're taking down 7.
Yeah,
a lot of shit in there. A lot of docs.
A lot of docs, dude. There was a lot of docs
HBO's
in there.
HBO's buying
And the
docs
same
next
thing
summer, and
with
I heard they're going after him.
it just so happened that part of the Pentagon also held a lot of docs that were very important to certain people that would not be too disappointed if it got incinerated as well. And it also was like under maintenance, and it also didn't have anybody in it. So like if we just 9/11 people, what I'm sorry, you say the towers are what? All right. Hey, Johnny, you got that missile? Yeah, I think we can pull this off. Yeah, all right, cool.
Good time. Yeah.
Fucking Pentagon.
There's a great. I don't want to give it away. Actually, he didn't say it.
What is it? Don't tell me.
Don't say nothing.
Is it Barry?
Yeah. So let's get back. Do you think Godzilla was a doc in that fucking building, and they had to get rid of it because Godzilla's real too, or what?
So was Godzilla an inside job? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if the reason why 9/11 happened was to get rid of these so-called docs, and Godzilla was one of the top.
I didn't say that's the reason 9/11 happened. I said 9/11 happened and people used it to their advantage, like most things, like COVID.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So do you think Godzilla was in those docs or what?
Oh, you're done talking about 9/11? This was your idea.
No, I don't want to talk about 9/11. I held back from saying anything about 9/11 on a podcast.
Yeah, we went a hard rant
It was
there on
your idea, dude.
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, that was a fun left turn into 9/11 conspiracy land.
We got
I'm
this
just
VP
saying,
guy
I
named
didn't say
Bob
anything
who
bad.
brought
I'm just,
googly eyes on his
I'm
microphone
saying,
talking about
It was
9/11.
just a
what
little,
would be
lot of
clever
interesting,
things?
lot of
The
interesting
United 93 thing?
situations.
I don't know. I was joking about
Yeah,
all that. But
that I'm uninformed on. That's why it was one of those things. Like I don't really know what I'm talking about.
those are jokes.
Yeah.
But the
Just
Pentagon
saying,
and the Tower
just-
7 thing, I don't
There's
know
some
about that.
interesting interesting timings.
What do you think Spiderman thinks about 9/11? That's the best question.
I think inside job, not necessarily, but it was kind of a convenient way to do things.
Convenient.
You
Convenient.
think it has
I
something
think-
to do with like Thanos?
Unfortunately, when the towers got hit, some people were like this. Convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, which is
yeah.
fucked up, but
Even if they like, oh,
we're
something's
fucked
gonna
up, you know?
happen. Something
Godzilla's
might
fucked
happen.
up.
Let's let it roll. So is Godzilla in the docks? Like, are you saying was it? Do they know of some sort of Jurassic era amphibious reptile that breathes atomic breath in document form? Is that
Yeah.
something?
It's called the United States of America.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it
It's called
pretty much
Florida.
represented.
You say Florida?
Yeah. Called Florida, followed by its cousin Texas.
Kissing cousins.
So yeah, we find out Sears they try all these ways to kill Godzilla. Godzilla is unkillable, clearly. And Yamana was like, yo, we need to study this guy. Serizawa doesn't want to hurt this dinosaur. And because
Is he the old guy? He's just like, why can't we just
we just need to study him. He can't. Yeah, he's the one who's like, we got to stop fighting. We're just pissing him off. So maybe we could just study. He's like, he's resilient as fuck. He survives everything. Like we need to
didn't
figure
you
out
see when he peeked his head over? He's probably
means of
dumb
survival.
as fuck. Cross-eyed and shit.
He does kind of want to use them, so it's questionable.
Let's
even
just
his
trick
intents.
him.
Right.
Dig a big hole, cover it with leaves.
So where are we going? Serizawa has a device. It's called the oxygen destroyer.
He sucked.
It was a great movie. Whatever.
There was just so much other shit going on in this movie, whether it be the love story or the political message or the message of what's right and what's wrong and who's wrong and is Godzilla a monster, that we've seen so many goddamn times since that it just didn't matter.
But this is like the OG of it all, and it was still good. Like I still think there was some depth there that like it. I think it definitely dipped in the middle a little bit in my attention, but I think once the movie was over and done, I always feel very satisfied at the end of Godzilla.
Even though it's like a warning.
Godzilla? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's not satisfying. It's more of like it's kind of a depressing and very bleak ending, but
World's only gotten worse.
It comes together very well.
Since Godzilla or since World War II?
Pick one, either one.
I don't think the world is worse than World War II yet.
I do. I think the threat of like what we can do without foot invading is just too much of a damaging thing to foot invade. I think if we didn't have the ability to nuke people would try to invade already.
Yeah. That was the whole
That's
point
what I'm
of
saying.
nukes.
Oppenheimer made it. He was like, I'm gonna fucking make this shit equal real quick.
The great equalizer.
I can't wait to see that, dude. I would love Nolan movies, of course, but that movie looks really fucking good.
That does look good.
Looks really fucking good.
Good, because I'm gonna make you watch that one.
Cool.
Yeah, we haven't done a Nolan movie.
Jake loves Noel. The Knowles.
Yeah.
This one does look good.
All right.
Very good.
I'm a big Cillian Murphy fan, and the fact that he plays the main guy is pretty dope.
Killian?
Cillian's killing it, dude.
Killing game?
Blinders? Come on. Peaky Blinders were the best ever.
I watched a little bit of Peaky Blinders. Wasn't stoked on it.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot.
I'm a big Boardwalk Empire guy.
I mean, of course. Fucking kidding me? Steve Buscemi, best role he's ever done.
Buscemi. Firefighter.
More of a Donnie
Speaking of
guy.
9/11, he went when the towers got hit. He went to his where he used to volunteer in New York, and he went and helped people out of the rubble.
I know, I've seen that. That's cool.
Buscemi,
Shout out to
Yeah.
Buscemi.
great guy.
Great guy. Great kisser. Distraught by the devastation, Imiko tells Ogata about Shiraza's research and the weapon called the Oxygen Destroyer.
That was crazy. He's like, we're gonna melt the whole fucking, we're gonna take the oxygen out of the whole ocean. I thought that was pretty great. It was like James Bond villain type shit. I thought it was awesome. Totally crazy, but
Oh, the devastation that'll cause.
oh, for sure. That's the thing. That would be all the no more sushi. A lot of those people that like to eat sushi, no more
No
sushi.
more sushi.
Yeah, like they don't focus enough on like the aftermaths of these like random things. Like they're that whole like electrocuting Godzilla part that they try to do, but then they were saying like they got to evacuate that whole area. What happens to all the fish and all the wildlife in that area too? Like they're gonna get fucked.
Jake,
And-
that's the message of this movie, bro.
Exactly.
What are you getting?
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing. That's the whole. That's
Yeah.
why Godzilla's here. He's like a
Yeah.
creation of this
He's
aftermath.
he's
He is the
fighting.
aftermath.
He's
They could have called this
almost
movie Aftermath.
there's there's different ways to look at the way he's symbolic, and he's like another symbolic way of like it's Mother Nature fighting back in a way.
Yeah.
Mother Nature fighting back and the exploration of post-war anxieties, dude. We can go all day.
Yeah, all day.
Does he kill everything in the ocean?
I don't think I don't think it would be everything in the ocean, but maybe just like in that certain area. They didn't really explain that. We just kind of were.
Said he was gonna take the oxygen out of the water. That also seems
Yeah.
like it could be very bad for humans too, in a way. You know, we need
Yeah.
and we need water. I don't think they really thought
So
that
if you
through.
take oxygen out of the water, and
Everything dies.
oxygen, water is part oxygen. It's
Right. It just turns into
hydrogen.
hydrogen.
Dihydrogen oxide.
That
So
would
then it's
be,
just hydrogen.
dihydrogen. It's just a lot of hydrogen.
Just two hydrogen atoms hanging out in the ocean. What does that even mean?
If they say two atoms
Dev-
don't make a whole.
Devastation, dude. That means devastation.
It disintegrates oxygen atoms.
Yeah, that's why we gotta stop fucking.
I don't think
making
that's
weapons, dude.
scientifically accurate.
What do you know? You're a
Well,
scientist.
this is 54 science, and it sounded right to me, and it made sense.
All right, at 54, it might have been right.
Science is knows better than you know any science.
You're right. This
I don't know.
is
There's
Japanese
some
54 science.
dumbass
Pretty
54 science, dude. Pluto's still a planet at 54.
Pluto's a planet in 94.
I wouldn't know either way. Just me being alive in 2023, if there's a planet called Pluto out there, if I didn't have science.
Get a telescope, idiot.
Oh, because I'd be like, oh, that's a planet. That's a planet. That's a planet. Yeah.
I want to go to
Exactly.
Saturn, dude. Chill on the rings. Let's go.
Why the rings of
I
Saturn?
don't think it could be
I
chilling.
mean,
so
those
long.
are cool as fuck.
Let's go to the moon.
It'd be cold as fuck.
Moon.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the moon?
Giant crater. I want to go to Saturn and hang out on the rings.
I always wanted to check out
Storms.
Mars. Saturn seems far.
I don't
Way
think
too
you
far.
can
It's
hang out.
super fun.
Rings, like the rings are like a mass of shit just flying around. I don't think you can hang out. on them.
Yeah, I don't
It'd
think
be
that's-
dangerous.
Oh,
we
you don't
could
know
do.
nothing about no rings of Saturn.
I know some space shit,
I
dude.
think he's right. I
I
think
was
it's
into
just
space.
like fucking rocks held together by gravity or some shit, and they're just spinning around a
Gravitas.
planet.
Man, you guys don't know nothing about Saturn or science.
I think they're just
Read a
exploded
book.
moons.
I read 2 books about both of those subjects.
The one book was still Saturn, the other one was still science.
Thank you.
All right, how's this movie end? Let's finish it up.
How do they get him? Jake,
They
do
got
get
him. They get him. But it's interesting because I like how
The whole-
Shirazawa makes it go down. Shirazawa destroys all of his shit because he's like kind of basically like forced to use this thing. He destroys all of his research, and he even says like he's like,
It's like Miles
one day-
Dyson and
one day
Cyberdyne.
I'm going to be coerced to use it, so I'm going to go down and administer it myself. And then Ogata's like, no, you can't. I'm going to help you. And he's like, I don't need your help, but they still go down together. And then Ogata goes up, and once Ogata goes up, Shirazawa cuts his own oxygen tank and then lets it go, taking himself out in the same time. And, it also kills Godzilla and all the fish in that area. And then it's not, people aren't happy and people aren't like cheering. It's not a big celebration moment. It's very grim at that point because Yamana then reminds us like this shit's gonna keep happening if we keep doing
This
this
is
same
it.
bullshit. If we keep experimenting with weapons, more Godzillas are gonna come along and fuck shit up.
Boy, there's been a billion movies made about the atomic age.
Yep.
I mean, this one,
Is the best one. You're right.
Terminator,
Terminator 2.
Oppenheimer, any movie about any kind of sentient beings and ultimate weapons. I mean, it all stemmed from. Was there one of those movies before we bombed the big bomb?
I mean, there were alien movies, like movies about aliens invading, but I don't know if there were like movies about monsters coming out.
But no, I'm talking about movies about someone creating something for a good cause that ultimately is like way worse than if it was never created. You know what I mean? The bomb, like that the bomb created that genre. World War II, the
Yeah.
end of World War II created a genre of movies of should we or shouldn't we movies.
I mean, that creating that thing changed the world, not just cinema, it changed a lot of things. Yeah,
From
I mean,
monsters to fucking Terminators.
you know what my favorite AI movie is, I think, of all time because of how intimate it is and how great
Ex
the
Machina.
characters were.
Is it AI?
Ex Machina is the best.
Same
That is a
thing,
good
same
one.
story.
Yeah. Ex
You've got
Machina is
something
so
you
fucking
shouldn't
good.
should is
The
it too
ending
much to release?
when
Yeah.
she leaves him in there in the end and no one's ever gonna know she's a robot is
Wild.
absolutely
I
devastating.
guess that's the answer to your question is like, what's the next thing that we create that's going to basically like, we're better off with that. We didn't create it. It's probably going to be AI or is starting already in that direction with some genres.
But
AI,
AI,
Yeah.
Spielberg's movie is also an insanely good movie in a different way. Like Ex Machina is more of a dark, almost satirical, where AI is like a fairy tale made by like a live action Disney movie made by Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference. But it's
Right.
dark. That movie's also dark, and it gets really dark, and it ends with aliens finding him frozen, reincarnating his mom for a day, and then he goes to eternal sleep when she dies with her.
Oh
That
shit,
was
I
the
don't even remember that.
craziest
I haven't
fucking
seen that movie in so
spoiler for
long.
AI.
Damn, yeah.
crazy fucking movie. I remember being in the movie theater being like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Jude
Yeah,
Law,
that
that
movie. I just
great.
remember thinking that movie was weird as fuck.
That's a great movie. That movie
I
was
haven't seen
written,
it since it
well,
came out.
was originally written, the original script by Stanley
Nick, it
Kubrick.
was Kubrick,
He
yeah,
was going to direct it. And then when he
yeah,
died, Spielberg decided to do it.
yeah. That was the weird shit part.
Yeah. That's a great
Shit.
fucking movie. That's a great fucking movie. Jude Law is amazing in that movie as
Yeah.
Gigolo Joe.
That's what I just said.
There's been some shows about AI recently, like what was the Westworld? You know,
Westworld was great.
is all about the
The
AI stuff
first season of Westworld
running
was
back, taking
one of the
over.
best things ever. Season one of that show was amazing.
I
With
think season
Anthony
3
Hopkins.
was actually like super strong, and
It
it was
was
just
good.
like it was a big departure, but I really liked that
It was
season.
good. Jesse Pinkman was great.
Yeah. And there's a new one, Mrs. Davis. It's a new Peacock show. I only saw the first
I've never
episode, but
seen that.
it's a Damien Lindelof show, so that made me intrigued to
Oh,
buy it.
okay.
So there's this over big presence of AI kind of controlling the world type situation. It's
Is
interesting.
it good?
I only saw the first episode so far. It
I like Lindelof
it was all right, but I feel like I want to keep watching it because I feel like it'll get better because I am a big Lindelof fan. I've liked
I
everything.
gotta watch his Watchmen. I never watched it.
It was good,
I
definitely good.
heard it was great.
Yeah, weird as fuck, but it was good.
The Leftovers is probably the best show ever.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. I think next to Breaking Bad, it's like my favorite show.
That dude, the fact that that's probably my first and second show too, and The Sopranos is in there too. The Great Band Sopranos.
It's a fair top 3.
Sopranos changed the game for me. That's the first show I watched like every time it came on during like Sunday. I was young. I was super young. And my mom told me about it and I watched it. I was like, damn, this is
It just
crazy.
doesn't hold up.
It's Jersey
Yes,
bias. Also Jersey
it
bias.
holds up real strong. I just watched like I've been watching random episodes. It's so good.
I didn't watch it
Nostalgia,
till
you know?
I didn't watch it till the pandemic, and I actually really loved The
Yeah,
Sopranos.
it's a great show.
I put it off
Great
for a
fucking
long
show.
time, and it's
You're
probably gonna
vegan.
easily in my top 5. Doesn't even make sense. There's people eating
Eh.
capicola, and gabagool, the whole fucking series, and
Fuck outta here.
doesn't upset me.
Without Tony Soprano, there's no fucking Walter White. That's just how it is.
No, I don't. I disagree with that.
100%. He was the original anti-hero on television.
I think without
because he was one of the
Godzilla,
first ones.
without
doesn't mean it
Godzilla,
wouldn't
there'd
have
be
happened.
no Tony Soprano. I think Godzilla was
I think
really
that's
the
a-
first
I think that's
anti-hero.
It's a misnomer all around whenever people say that. It's like just because he was the first one doesn't mean that's not where the trend was going, and it was not going to happen anyway.
You're talking about Godzilla?
This is
Talking
the
about
thing.
everything. Talking about the Beatles. Talking about Sopranos. I'm talking about anything. Anytime says, well, without this guy, this would have never happened. It's like, nah, he just was the first or one of the first to do it. Without Halloween or without Black Christmas. It's like they were just the first to do it, and the trend was going that way, and someone was about to do it, and 4 other people did it right after him that were pretty close. That was probably parallel thinking and not copying anyway. So.
And he
That's
just
all
did
I'm
it
saying.
one of the better, one of the best.
Well, all I'm saying is paving the way by being the first one, by making someone who is a bad person seem painted in a good light and people root for you on television. That really wasn't a thing. So even if you are the first one by default, still paving the way, still making it that
Godzilla did that in
100%.
1954, and we just saw that movie. So you can't say Tony Soprano was the first one, because Godzilla was that villain that you ended up sympathizing with into the movie. Godzilla was the first, dude.
He wasn't on TV. He said TV.
Without Godzilla, there'd be no Tony Soprano. Okay.
I mean, in 1884, Huckleberry Finn was the very first anti-hero in the American nurseries. I'm just saying.
Huckleberry Finn was a pussy. Doing pussy shit.
Not in 84, dude. Today, yeah, well, flick him on the nose and
It's
knock
because he
his
was like
brains out.
13. Any 13-year-old kid's a pussy, really.
What I'm saying is,
Like, I could beat him up.
An anti-hero is someone who's doing some despicable things, and no matter what Huckleberry Finn was doing, he was never doing.
Can you define anti-hero for us, please?
I think Huckleberry Finn was just saying the N-word, and I don't know what other
despicable,
bad things
dude.
Yeah, what else was he?
That
is despicable.
Definitely knew, maybe owned a couple slaves, and that's pretty despicable.
Okay, I didn't know any about
not
that.
Cool,
that
yeah.
Huckleberry Finn was doing. I thought he was flicking people on the nose, like you were saying. I didn't know he was holding slaves.
That was just the Jonathan Taylor Thomas version. That's probably the only Huckleberry Finn you know of.
Yeah, probably. I did picture that kid's face when you mentioned Huckleberry Finn.
A big JTT
And then
fan.
I thought of Tool Time and Tim Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
We should do that movie. We should do Tom and Huck. Disney's Tom and Huck.
What? Why?
I mean, your picks are your picks, man. Your picks are your picks.
Great movie, dude. It's also a little racist. Not that like that's the plus, but like we could talk about it. It's got topical
commentary.
things.
Yeah, I'll say that for Black History Month.
All right.
Oh my God.
Well, go out and watch Godzilla on HBO, and you can watch any of its predecessors or antecessors.
Watch Godzilla vs. Kong first, and then go back and watch this like a couple of weeks later.
No, watch them in order. I fucked up when I like randomly started jumping around. Then I realized like there is an overarching story to all these like Godzilla.
What is the overarching story?
He's back.
It's just his interaction with the monsters. Like certain, different monsters come in different
they're
times.
like, oh, he's back. Remember when he fought this guy? Well, now he's got to fight this guy.
Yeah, and the relationships between the monsters, the history of the attacks, yes, are there.
Tony Soprano comes out,
the evolution of the monsters, and because I watched one there was like fucking this random weird Mothra story that was I'm like, what? How is Mothra like a larva right now? And
dude,
it didn't really
Mothra in King of the Monsters
and I had to watch it.
is crazy.
Okay, cool.
Crazy.
I gotta watch that shit. I gotta watch the new shit now, but I gotta keep watching the Toho
watch the
era.
New shit, watch the old shit, dude.
I'm watching all the Honda
the
films.
97 Roland Emmerich one. That's the first one I ever saw. That one's fun.
I've seen that one. I need to watch like speaking of Walter White, the 2014 Godzilla, and then it's King of the Monsters, and then it's Godzilla vs. Kong, and I already saw Skull Island. I think Godzilla vs. Kong is kind of like a double sequel, right? Yeah, okay.
Double six. Well,
double sequel.
Either way, you're saying start with this one.
Yeah, I definitely start with this one and then go from there. And then I'd say skip Godzilla King of the Monsters in 56 because that's just the
Godzilla, King
re-edited.
of Thieves.
That's the re-edited American
Is
version.
he
So
fabulous? He Godzilla.
but I think they do
He is
Godzilla vs King Kong is like
stronger
the
than
third
man.
one or something.
Fabulous.
So.
He shoots atomic breath. He kills all the Japanese people.
What?
Don't fuck with him. It's Big Gojira.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch this.
Bad guys with
for-
swords.
And Rodan. How's it going? Did you
Did
guys
we-
listen
did
to
we-
that episode of Video Archives where they talked about Rodan?
I haven't listened to Video Archives in like 4 or 5 episodes now, but I'm gonna get back to it.
That's what made me want to watch these because they were like just the way they talked about Rodan.
Listening
was,
to Tarantino
intrigued me,
and
yeah.
Avery talk about movies is pretty fun. I want to see.
Yeah, it's definitely made me
about.
want to watch the movies.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they talked about that one because that definitely fully got me into this whole universe. Because they obviously talked about the universe of this too. They just didn't talk about Godzilla specifically. It was more Rodan. What you got there, Anthony?
Old Godzilla was hopping around Tokyo City like a big playground when suddenly Batman burst from the shade and hit Godzilla with a bat grenade. Godzilla got pissed and began to attack. Didn't expect to be blocked by Shaq. He proceeded to open up a can of Shaq. When Aaron Carter came out of the blue and he started beating Shaquille O'Neal, then they both got flattened by the
R.I.P. Aaron Carter.
before we could make it back to the Batcave. Abraham Lincoln popped out of his grave.
You guys ain't never seen
I
Ultimate
saw this
Showdown?
mad long ago. Mad long ago.
Any last words for the Ultimate Showdown of
Well,
Godzilla?
what do you rate it? 1 to 10. We didn't rate it.
Oh yeah.
Good call. Good call.
I'm gonna give it 7.5.
7 point. Is that like in $54?
No, I'm saying that's out of 1 to 10. It's 7.5.
I mean, I think in 1954, I'd give this a 7.5. But as inflation rises, I'm going to give it a nice, big, fat 4.9.
So you're taking points off because just of the quality of how old it is, basically.
Yeah.
The technological advances in filmmaking.
It goes to my enjoyment.
Okay, I can be about that. I agree with that. I can be cool with that.
And it was boring. It was just boring. Story wise, it was boring. Everything else was cool.
Yeah, I liked pretty much all of it. I liked the story. I agree that it was slow at times, but it was, to me, overall it was a very good movie. It was fun. It was just a fun watch, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I was giving it a 7.7.
Damn, 7.7. Gojira, 1954.
Good message. Good stuff. Fun stuff.
Yeah, 4.9 is probably a little low, but I'm sticking with it.
All right.
Who cares?
None of these points don't matter.